Cisco and AOE Section 2 Pre-Assessment, Implementing Automation for Cisco DNA Center. What Cisco DNA Center functionality is used to integrate other adjacent applications and systems like IP address management and IT service management. So these are REST-based integration APIs. That's what it is. Device packs and multi-vendor Java SDK, these are southbound APIs, and as far as I understand, device packs are no longer supported. And maybe even multi-vendor SDK being decommissioned. Not sure about that, but could be. And intent API is pretty straightforward. This is the northbound API. So for kind of sideways integration, that's the integration adapters. Match each of the Cisco DNA Center intent API domains to its definition. All right. Creates a security token and authorizes each request operation according to the access privileges that are associated with the security token that accomplishes the request. So that should be authentication, pretty straightforward, right? Okay. View details about clients, sites, topology, devices, and issues. Create, post, and manage, put lead sites, okay? Create and manage sites, devices, IP pools, edge and border devices, and authentication profiles. So that should be, I think that's Know Your Network. That's what Know Your Network domain is about. I guess that's it. Okay, I'll choose it for now. We'll get back if I'm not sure. Helps to provision enterprise networks with zero-touch deployment. Oh, that could have been site management as well. Okay, I will remove this. So zero-touch deployment. Okay, so zero-touch deployment probably should be within this. No, it's not site management, right? It's something like related to devices, provisioning devices. So that's probably Know Your Network thing, right? And the previous one, I guess it will still be site management, because this one goes around kind of view details about sites and create and manage sites and configure the inner details of sites, and that's what site management is for. Provides the means of configuring and managing fabric wired and non-fabric wireless networks. So that's probably connectivity, I think. Okay. Enables you to configure and manage CLI templates, discover network devices, configure network settings, and trace paths through the network. So these are operational tools, things like command runner, network discovery, path trace, and so on. Okay, enables creation of application policies. That's pretty much straightforward, the policy domain. These policies are used to reflect your organization's business intent and translates them into network-specific and device-specific configurations required by the different types, makes, models, operating systems, roles, and resource constraints of your network devices. Okay, makes sense. And finally, that should be what? That should be event management. Let's see. Provides the ability to receive custom notifications when specific events are triggered. Of course, this is event management. Okay, I think the only confusing part here, potentially confusing part, is these two, site management and Know Your Network. And basically, Know Your Network also deals with sites a bit, right? But you can do things like create site and manage site in a sense of assigning devices to the specific site, obtaining some information about these sites, and so on, right? But not to configure the inner network settings inside the sites. So that's what site management is for. So things like IP pools, edge border devices, and so on. That should be the site management. All right. I hope that's correct. Question 3. Match the Cisco DNA Center feature to its description. Automated device discovery, zero-touch device deployment, drag-and-drop policy creation. Uh, Policy-based automation, context-guided analytics, network automation, security. That's probably network automation, right? In general, policy workflows that govern the relationship between endpoint groups or applications. That's policy-based automation, sounds like, okay? Closed loop automation with guided remediation with the network as the sensor. That's content guided analytics. And then this is for security, right? Analytic, threat detection, and traffic patterns to notify the business of issues. That is definitely a security thing. Perfect. What is one benefit of building your own framework to access the intent API? Okay, so DNA Center has its own web GUI, a pretty elaborate one, but we can also we can also consume the northbound API of DNA Center and build whatever we want. Reinforcing basic Python skills? Not really. You can use other programming languages here, of course, but also probably it's not about basic Python skills necessarily. Maintaining your library? No, I don't think how this is related. I don't see how this is related. Changing your library as Cisco DNA Center evolves. This is definitely not a benefit. Potentially, this may happen, especially if some breaking API changes are introduced and the library, if we have created a library, we would have to update it. So no, as your environment gets more complex, your framework gets more complex. Probably this is the good answer because if our environment is small and simple, we can do simple things with simple coding, right? And simple automations and small scripts and stuff like that. But as the network grows and environment's complexity grows, the framework will be more complex as well. With which package manager is DNA Center SDK installed? DNA Center SDK, assuming for Python, I think we should assume it's Python, will be installed with pip, Python package manager. NPM, I think, is for JavaScript, and yum and apt are package managers on Linux operating system. Which option is the best way to consume the intent API for a script? Okay, Python libraries, curl, Postman, WebGUI, Developer Kit. Probably Python libraries is the best way and the easiest one. Curl is just a command line tool, and yeah, it can be. I mean, probably some curl calls may be used as part of maybe a bash script, which just does some steps and operations. You can also chain operations in Postman, so kind of also write scripts in Postman. This is also possible, but that's primarily done for testing of API or maybe learning in the API. For proper development, proper consumption of the API, yeah, you got to use Python. What is one step in configuring webhooks for Cisco DNA Center events? All right. Enable and configure network events for REST endpoints bundle. I think this is the correct answer. I vaguely remember from the UI in DNA Center, that events require this bundle of API endpoints to be enabled. Seamlessly disseminate go forward e-commerce. This is just gibberish. Conveniently innovate world-class mindshare. That's gibberish as well. Enable Cisco Data Center path trace. Path trace is just an operational tool, so definitely answer one here is correct. Which option is a use case that Cisco DNA Assurance solves? Okay. Data collection, ingestion, correlation analysis, visualization, and action. Uh, yeah, I think that's what assurance is about. Basically, it collects all possible information from the network devices, correlates this information, analyzes it, provides visualization tools and suggestions for actions. That's what it is. So other options are energetically monetize visionary relationships, um, dramatically actualize visionary results, and conveniently parallel task quality. That's just all nonsense. I don't know why there are these options here. What is the correct path to access the intent API to get overall client health? Okay, so path. So the URL must be starting with DNA/intent/API/v1, and only two options here, option 1 and 3, follow this because other are just not correctly formed API URLs. So it's between client health and client action. I guess it's client health. Pretty straightforward. That's what it should be. I think there. I remember there is such endpoint there. All right. Surprisingly, it was not that great. 2 points missed, and one in implement Python scripts that perform management workflows, configuration changes, configuration state verification, Cisco Data Center. Not sure which question this relates to. Understand the Cisco Data Center developer tools and implement management workflows leveraging its APIs. Okay, I'll take that.